Every moment that passes, more and more of what was said to be conspiracy, what was said to be misinformation, Russia collusion, all of these things, and I'm talking about a lot of the congressional hearings, I'm talking about Chris Wray testifying, I'm talking about all of the documents, the things that are coming out, the reluctancy for a lot of these people, especially on the left. They're not covering the news, they're not asking questions, they're not talking about the Biden documents in Delaware, they're not talking about these classified things, they're not getting into the root of the issue, but rather they're still attacking Trump. They're still attacking certain people. They're calling them MAGA, ultra-right, conservative, crazy people, all these things, and they're censoring people. They're censoring me, they're censoring other truth tellers, politicians, Trump, many people. And yet, if you're awake and you're seeing the bickering, the arguing, and you're asking yourself, okay, I guess there may be some element of truth to this. Biolabs in Ukraine may not be a conspiracy because Victoria Nuland talked about it. Other people testified to it. Many other things are coming out. The money laundering, all of the Ukraine stuff, all of the Burisma holdings, Hunter Biden, many things are coming out. And 1 year, 2 years later, everything that was the Hunter Biden laptop misinformation campaign, everything else, Fauci, WHO, the vaccine stuff, the whole COVID situation, the origins, all of this stuff, it's not moving in the opposite direction. It's not moving in a direction where it's like 2 years later, oh, I guess that was misinformation. I'm sorry that I lied about it. The more that progresses, the more that people are asking, why is it that people are dropping dead and they're completely healthy people? Many of these things that have been conspiracy, that have been just, oh, that's crazy, weird talk. That's just alt-right talk. As opposed to that happening, more truth is coming out. But the question is, will you ask questions, investigate, and believe some of the things that are coming out? More is going to come out, guys. There's more truth bombs to be had. But the question is, because we're progressing little by little, drip, drip, and then probably flood. But when this is coming out, will you still want to live under a rock and be delusional? Or do you want to ask yourself, okay, maybe some of these things are in fact true? And so this is what's happening for a lot of society, for Americans. More and more people are jumping on, if you want to call it the Trump train. They're waking up. And this is the movement that we are in. It's not moving in the direction of, oh, I guess they were crazy people. I guess they were just fantastical conspiracy theorists. Rather, you can choose to believe the truth. And most people, a lot of people, are even in the liberal, the left, the Democrats, they're choosing to say, you know what? Let me first and foremost wake up to what's going on and then put Jesus as my Lord and Savior. Put Jesus first and be saved. Because this is what it's about. God, I've said before, He's using circumstances, the stuff that's happening in the world, negativity, all of this crazy stuff, and you can't avoid it anymore, right? People are like, oh, it's so abrasive. I just don't want to talk about it, brush it under the rug. But it's affecting your kids. It's affecting education. It's affecting your livelihood. It's affecting how you just, your finances, the business aspect to it, all of these things. And unless you deal with it head on in some sense, then you are literally going to continue to live in your own delusional sphere. If you want to continue living in your own world, by all means. But most people, a lot of people, they're choosing not to do this. And so this is where we are at. It's a good time. Again, I've said before, a lot of it's in the details. I can't cover a lot of it because it's just overwhelming. But if you do any amount of news research, start with even Trump. Look at what he's tweeting. Look at what's being discussed among the conservatives. Look at certain news sites, the ones that are actually trying to be objective and not political. More and more people are saying, okay, well, I guess CNN, MSNBC, these guys, they're leaning left. There is bias. There's other people that are leaning the other way. And at the same time, it's very difficult to discern, but the fifth dimensional psyops warfare, right? A lot of people don't realize that the white hats, they have to play a certain role, and they may look negative and bad. It may look like they are even treasonous, but they have to play it in this way. Trump as well, he's been calling out certain people, but there has to be this sort of distancing that they have to do. Bill Barr comes to mind, many others, but it has to be done this way. And so we may not fully understand why it is that people are doing this, but it's for a reason, because the enemy, the media, these guys, they have to be dismantled. The public has to come to awareness, and certain people will be sacrificial lambs in a sense. So again, it's a good time right now. A lot of things happening. And as the media continues to harp on these guys, myself, many others, and fight this narrative, this is when you can tell they are losing the war. They are losing the narrative battle, the narrative for truth, the narrative for waking up. And once the people are awake, it's over for the establishment, for the elite. These guys have no power. One day we just have to say, you know what? I don't want to participate and believe in all of this anymore. And so this is where we are headed. So love you guys. Good things are coming. Talk to you guys very soon.